Live, this is News Channel 8 today at 11 on your side.
Now at 11, the push to keep students safe. The district holding an emergency meeting this morning to discuss a mask mandate.
And just weeks from retirement, the sudden passing of Clearwater City Manager Bill Horn. We took a look back at his 21 years of service.
Plus, how thousands are desperately trying to flee Afghanistan now that the Taliban has seized control. Good morning and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Avery Cotton.
And I'm Chris Martinez, and we begin this morning with the latest COVID numbers, and the surge in cases shows no signs of letting down.
The latest numbers from Tampa General and Sarasota Memorial Hospital show 90% of their beds are occupied. Nationwide, pediatric cases are growing at an alarming rate.
They've increased roughly 400% in a month as more kids are heading back to school. And this past week, Florida had its 3 highest single-day case totals during the pandemic, culminating in nearly 26,000 new cases on Friday. That's a new record. Well, right now, Manatee County school leaders are talking about a potential mask mandate. This comes after more than 100 students and staff tested positive in just the first few days of class.
8 on your side's Marco Villarreal reporting this morning from Manatee County.
And as schools decide whether to require students to wear masks, President Biden is applauding schools who put mask policies in place. He called the superintendent of Broward County to thank her for, quote, doing the right thing, despite the governor's threat to cut funding to schools who require masks. And there is some confusion about whether classes at the University of Florida will be in person or online this year. As of right now, it does appear classes will be in person. This all started Friday when the school sent an email to students saying the term might begin online because of the increase in COVID cases. But a few hours later, a second email said they would be in person. Classes at UF begin a week from today.
Developing right now, Taliban fighters took over security posts across Kabul today after sweeping Afghanistan's capital. Now thousands of people are desperately trying to get out of the country. Here's Richard Engel with the very latest. And as chaos ensues in Afghanistan, many local veterans are in a state of shock as they watch all of this unfold. 8 on your side spoke with retired U.S. Army Colonel DJ Reyes. He served 33 years of active duty and was last in combat in Afghanistan in 2012. Reyes is concerned for the thousands of troops heading there and the people who live there that will have to stay.
Our concern for the safety of our own U.S. troops that we've had to redeploy, whether they were in theater or out of theater, our U.S. civilians and coalition forces, and then the Afghan population that's remaining. Because we all know under that type of environment, especially with the Taliban, life is hard.
Reyes says now is the time to rally together and support everyone who is impacted by the Taliban's return.
And right now, the U.S. Coast Guard is in Haiti, helping that country recover from a devastating weekend earthquake. Nearly 1,300 people are dead and 5,000 others injured. U.S. troops are helping bring medical supplies to the quake's epicenter while evacuating the injured to hospitals in Port-au-Prince. With an impending tropical system moving their way, the situation is growing even more dire.
For people that have limited resources, have houses that aren't well constructed, and knowing full well that there was a tropical storm coming in the next 3 days.
So far, there have been at least 17 confirmed aftershocks since the first quake hit. New at 11, a hearing in the case against a man accused of killing his wife and her family. Shelby Neely is accused of killing his mother-in-law, father-in-law, and brother-in-law nearly a year after investigators claim he killed his wife, Jamie Ivancic. This morning, they decided to hold another pretrial hearing in October. That's when the trial was supposed to begin.
Emotions and tears filled the room at this morning's Clearwater City Council meeting. Longtime city manager Bill Horn unexpectedly died over the weekend.
8 on your side's Chrissy McClarty shows us what's next for the city.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection wants a third party to handle the Piney Point wastewater site. The DEP says additional water during the rainy season could lead to another immediate threat of collapse. In March, more than 200 million gallons of wastewater was dumped into the bay to prevent a similar threat. Tracking the tropics now, many Floridians in the Panhandle went to work this morning despite Tropical Storm Fred heading their way. In Panama City Beach, it was business as usual for many at the grocery store. One woman says she bought enough storm supplies to last her a week, but she does not expect to have to use them.
Our home is supposed to be able to withstand it. We're going to put our shutters up over the windows. If it's going to be bad, we'll do that, but I think that we'll be just fine.
again, are still reeling from hurricanes Sally and Michael. I have a lot of family in the Panhandle, so I was calling to check on them. And luckily, this isn't going to be as bad as what they dealt with Sally, but there are still some blue tarps on roofs there.
Yeah, something to watch. And also, Fred, just one of several systems right now brewing in the tropics. Let's head over to Amanda Holly. She's tracking all of that for us this morning.
It is busy, and we just got a full suite of updates from the National Hurricane Center. Of course, that 11 a.m. full update. But we'll focus on Fred right now because it is obviously close to our area. Tropical Storm Fred in the Gulf of Mexico here. Maximum winds sustained at 60 miles per hour. The hurricane hunters did find that, and there's a buoy that is just near the center, kind of confirming that saw a gust upwards of 60 miles per hour there. It's moving north at 10, so I'm expecting landfall within the next several hours, honestly, between early this afternoon and late this afternoon. And it's going to basically make a beeline toward the coast as we head through the evening hours. Could strengthen a little bit more because I'll tell you what, these waters right along the Gulf Coast, very, very warm. So wouldn't be surprised if we saw a jump up in the maximum winds before this makes landfall. But impacts are already being felt here. We're already starting to see some of those rain bands moving onshore in the Panhandle. For us, Max Defender 8 radar doing a really good job at tracking this this band wrapping around. It's actually just about 20 to 30 miles off the Pinellas County coastline. Coming up, I'll have a look at future radar and let you know if that band of rain is going to make its way toward us in just a few minutes. Avery.
All right, thanks, Amanda. And still ahead, high drama on the high seas.
We'll tell you how many people on board a Carnival cruise ship have tested positive for COVID-19.
Also ahead, could wildfires be fueling severe cases of COVID? We'll tell you what the new research shows.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate.
Keeping your windows intact during a storm prevents injuries from flying glass. They can allow rainwater into your home, causing additional damage.
Sponsored by WeatherTight Windows. Call for a free in-home consultation today.
Welcome back. New this morning, a Carnival cruise ship that departed from Texas is now dealing with a COVID-19 outbreak. More than 24 people, most of them staff members, have tested positive. Carrie Sanders has that story.
That was Carrie Sanders reporting. Meantime, the Delta variant is the dominant COVID strain here in the U.S., and that's becoming true all over the world. Now, experts say that is a bad sign for herd immunity. Scientists in the UK say herd immunity is no longer possible. They say vaccines are less effective against preventing people from becoming infected with the Delta variant, even if it does keep them out of the hospital. The director of the Oxford Vaccine Group says because the virus keeps spreading, it's more likely to consistently adapt and evolve, and he expects the next COVID variant to be even more contagious for those who are vaccinated. Now, despite all this, doctors say your best bet is to get the vaccine because even if you do get sick, you're far less likely to suffer severe symptoms. Meantime, a new study suggests there could be a link between severe cases of COVID and smoke from wildfires. Researchers from Harvard say they noticed a spike in severe cases and deaths in many areas out west roughly 4 weeks after they were hit by wildfires. The research shows in Butte, California and Whitman, Washington, 17% of all COVID cases were linked to high levels of air pollution during wildfires.
Runoff from heavy rain over the weekend caused scattered flooding and several road closures across southern New Mexico. All this water even forced evacuations. Days of heavy rain in La Union led to significant flooding. You can see water just gushing right through communities, burying homes and vehicles in mud.
So we were trying to block the water on the entryway, and we kind of controlled it, but when the water was coming heavier, it's when we ran inside. So we were trying to block the entryway from the inside, and the water kept just coming really bad.
And that area is expecting even more rain today. However, some people who were evacuated were allowed to return home yesterday.
Max Defender 8, the most advanced weather radar in Florida. Sponsored by Farah & Farah.
Heavy rain now also falling in the Panhandle as Tropical Storm Fred makes a final approach, really. It will make landfall this afternoon. We're looking north along Crystal River here, and you can see the dark clouds off in the distance, some higher than normal water levels. There is a coastal flood advisory in effect for coastal Citrus and Hernando County. Some minor coastal flooding is possible. Along Bayshore, though, not too bad. Some gloomy skies, temperature 84 degrees. Those winds coming in out of the south. There is a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico. That's not the only tropical disturbance we're tracking. tracking. We have 2 tropical depressions, one Tropical Depression Grace in the Caribbean and Tropical Depression 8 doesn't have a name just yet. But locally, we are tracking Fred, of course, and the heavy rain is in the Gulf of Mexico. Max Defender 8 radar has been tracking a couple of strong rain bands off of our coast. They have stayed off of our coast so far, but they are ever so slowly drifting toward the coastline. So as we head into the afternoon, those rain chances will be increasing, especially as temperatures warm up. Later in the week, we're actually going to see some drier air making its way in. So you're going to see those rain chances decrease on the 8-day forecast here, down to a 30% for Friday and Saturday. That'll be some nice news. However, with the drier conditions, it will get hotter with highs in the low to mid 90s. Guys?
All right, thanks, Amanda. 8 on Your Side is teaming up with the Hillsborough Education Foundation for a special school supply drive. Join us from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. this Wednesday, August 18th, for an all-day school supply drive here at WFLA. You can learn more at WFLA.com/school supplies.
Well, coming up, who knew carrying around big sticks could lead to a job? We will introduce you to a 4-legged minor league bat boy.
And remember this video? The attorney who says he's not a cat now has an action figure. That's still to come on News Channel 8 today.
Max Defender 8 Weather is sponsored by the Law Office of Catania and Catania.
Well, this morning, something so doggone cute, we couldn't resist.
Take a look at a minor league baseball team's bat boy. We should say bat dog. The Myrtle Beach Pelican, they have a bat dog, and his name is Slider. He's a retriever, and he takes the bat back to the dugout after each player's turn at the plate. This is Slider's 3rd year as a bat dog for the Pelicans. He's also the team's 3rd bat dog.
Oh, he's a good boy, too. Well, the Texas lawyer who went viral when he was unable to turn off a cat filter on Zoom has been turned into an action figure.
Yeah, remember this?
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
we're trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
The video never gets old.
Well, here's the action figure of attorney Rod Ponton from that appearance in Zoom court when he told the judge in February, "I am not a cat." Right now, online retailer Wicked Joyful is sold out of this action figure. And get this, that action figure, it's $80.
Wow.
$80.
That video is so funny because everyone was trying to get used to Zoom calls and figuring it all out. And then you have this cat face pop up. And you
look very concerned. A very concerned cat.
Very concerned. Well, coming up in our next half hour, all eyes are on school reopenings across the country and here in the state. And this comes as officials discuss vaccine and mask mandates.
Plus, a Walmart in the Bay Area reopening its doors after shutting down due to COVID-19 protocols.
And 8 on Your Side taking a look at how you can save the bees ahead of Honeybee Day this weekend. Stay with us. You're on News Channel 8 today at 11.
Right now, breaking news on News Channel 8.
Well, President Biden just announced he will be delivering an address on the situation in Afghanistan later today. Biden will return to D.C. to give the speech at 3:45 this afternoon. Members of both political parties have criticized the president's response to the unfolding crisis.
His administration is standing by the decision to withdraw U.S. troops, blaming Afghan security forces and the Trump administration. Again, we will hear from the president at 3:45 today on the Taliban taking control of Afghanistan. Thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Avery Cotton.
And I'm Chris Martinez. Right now, I want to check in with Amanda Holly. She's tracking Fred for us this morning and what this could mean for the Bay Area, if anything.
Yeah, just within the past few hours, Tropical Storm Fred really taking a run at strengthening right before it's going to make landfall later on this afternoon. We are talking about a 60-mile-per-hour sustained wind right now with Tropical Storm Fred, but you can see on satellite it's really starting to get that symmetrical structure. You can see the rain band on the southern side starting to kind of wrap in. So could we see a hurricane at landfall? Not out of the question here. The waters are very warm right along the coast, but how it's going to impact us is you can see everything's on the eastern side. So all of this moisture, it's kind of close to us. And we could see the band that is just about 20 to 30 miles off the Pinellas County coastline slowly move onshore throughout the day. It is, I'm talking inching, very slow at this point, but using Max Defender 8 radar, we're getting a really good view of the band as it kind of, the rain itself is lifting off to the north. north, but the whole thing is slowly inching toward the coast. Rain chances are going to increase today because temperatures are rising and we have a lot of tropical moisture in place. So Tropical Storm Fred's going to move off to the north, but we're going to start to see some of these downpours develop right after noon here, and we could see a couple of them continue to move onshore through the afternoon. By the time we get to 6, 7 o'clock, I think a lot of that rain's going to be focused inland. We could see a few isolated showers overnight, and the tropical moisture will linger as we head into Tuesday. Coming up, though, I'll let you know when we have some lower rain chances in the forecast. Guys.
All right, thanks, Amanda. This morning, a Bay Area Walmart is reopened after shutting down as part of the company's COVID-19 protocol.
And on your sides, Beth Rousseau is in Plant City, where the store is welcoming guests again. Thousands of families struggling to put food on the table will get a boost in benefits. Starting in October, SNAP benefits will increase more than 25% above pre-pandemic levels. The average monthly benefits per person will increase from $121 to $157. It's the largest single increase in the program's history, and advocates argue it better reflects how much it costs to provide a budget-conscious diet for a family of 4.
Well, more people are turning to fake cards and companies, and states require proof of vaccination. In Maine, people rallied to protest an executive order requiring all healthcare workers be vaccinated against COVID. Governor Janet Mills says it's either get the shot or get a new job. The order also threatens operation licenses for facilities that do not enforce that rule. Now, this comes as hospitalizations across southern states are being overwhelmed by more cases than ever before, pushing hospitals and healthcare workers to the brink. Here's Sam Brock with more.
On the fight against COVID, there is new data on breakthrough cases and the effectiveness of the vaccine. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health says those who are fully vaccinated are nearly 4 times less likely to get infected with COVID. For the vaccinated who do contract the virus, health officials say they are 14 times less likely to be hospitalized.
This morning, a restaurant employee drove to work in a brand new car. Hillsborough County deputies say they found out she was taking an Uber every day to work and then walking home at night. They partnered with a few local businesses to get her a car, and they had it cleaned up before they surprised her with it. I love that story. That's amazing. Well, it's Bee Day this weekend, and no, we are not talking about Queen Bee, Beyonce. National Honey Bee Day will be a day of celebrating the bug responsible for more than 1/3 of the food we eat, according to honeylove.org.
And on your sides, Brianna Villegas has more now on how you can help protect the bees.
Well, the pandemic has caused a number of shortages. Coming up, we'll tell you what we could be scrambling to get this holiday season.
Also ahead, you are what you eat, right? So we're going to tell you who is helping local seniors eat well in order to age well.
This is the place for your best Bucks coverage. News Channel 8, your official Bucks station.
Hall of Famer, how did you not know? Championship, about to win a Super Bowl. Touchdown dance, celebrating cause I'm home. Cleats on my feet, running routes all day. MVP, I'm the best on the list. You can join the team cause we headed to the ship. Hey, you looking at a champ.
This is the home of the world champions. Watch the Bucks take on the Titans right here. Saturday at 7:30 on News Channel 8, your official Bucks station.
Well, as gas prices continue to tick up across the country, we're starting to see a slight dip here in Florida. Nationally, prices went up 3 cents over the last 3 weeks. The national average for regular unleaded now $3.25 a gallon. Florida's average is hovering around $3, according to AAA. That's 1 cent lower than last week, but still up nearly $1 from the same time last year.
And now a possible shortage of turkeys. According to the New York Post, meat producers and distributors say there's a shortage of turkeys, and grocery stores could be scrambling to get the traditional main course into stores for the holidays. The shortage is expected to impact fresh turkeys and birds under 16 pounds. And we all know eating healthy can lead to a long life, but the pandemic changed a lot of our eating habits, some for the worse. Hillsborough County is offering free Zoom classes to help seniors get back on track to eat well and age well. And you do not have to be a senior to join these classes. They're every 3rd Friday of the month. They're completely free. I'll put the information on how to get your Zoom link on our website.
Well, working parents are feeling the fallout from the pandemic. A new report from the American Staffing Association found that most parents think COVID hurt their careers. 62% said their extra childcare and virtual schooling responsibilities hurt their ability to get ahead at work. The study found people of color were more likely to say childcare duties were a career obstacle during the pandemic. Well, there's a new twist to getting ready for Halloween, a countdown calendar for a good cause. The candy company Ferrero is giving away 500 calendars to those who donate to the Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The calendars are filled with 31 Halloween candy favorites, including Butterfinger zombie eyeballs. To donate and qualify for a calendar, head over to FerreroHalloween.com.
Well, age is nothing but a number for a World War II veteran. Tom Rice celebrated a milestone yesterday in a very special way. He spent his 100th birthday soaring through the sky. Rice was greeted by a cheering crowd as he landed softly on Coronado Beach, California. Jumping out of a plane, nothing new for Rice. In 1944, he was among the thousands of paratroopers who parachuted onto Normandy.
And talk about following in some legendary footsteps. Over the weekend, Nico Ali Walsh, the grandson of iconic boxer Muhammad Ali, made his professional boxing debut.
The 21-year-old lived up to his expectations, wearing his grandfather's trunks. Here's Joe Fryer with more.
Max Defender 8, the most advanced weather radar in Florida, sponsored by Farah and Farah.
Well, just off of our coastline, we have a tropical storm, a strong tropical storm at that, in the Gulf of Mexico. So we take a live look out at St. Pete Beach, and you can see the rough surf here. We actually have a high risk for rip currents today because since Fred has been churning in the Gulf of Mexico for a couple of days now, it's sending us some larger swells, and those breaking waves make for a high risk for rip currents. So be careful if you're out at the beaches today. But you can see it's overall a gloomy day. Temperatures are in the mid-80s, and just off of our coastline, there's a pretty strong rain band associated with Fred as well. Now, this rain band has been nearly stationary. You can see all the rain itself is actually moving off to the north and will eventually circulate into Fred. But the band itself isn't exactly moving toward the coastline at a very fast rate. Tomorrow, though, I expect some more sun, so it'll be a little hotter. Right now, we do actually have a coastal flood advisory in effect for Citrus and Hernando County. Minor coastal flooding is possible, and a couple of our rivers are close to or at flood stage, so several of those have flood warnings. Be mindful of that if you live right along a river. Again, not a great beach day because of those strong rip currents. Just stay out of the water. Otherwise, it's going to be muggy with a south breeze. If you're headed out to Tropicana Field tonight to watch the Rays take on the Orioles, first pitch at 7:10. There will be a few clouds around, but it will be mostly dry. Temperatures in the mid-80s. As you head home and outside of the Trop, again, muggy. Can't rule out a stray shower, but it should still be mostly dry. As we head into the rest of the week, Tuesday, I do think that we are going to still see the elevated rain chances with tropical moisture in place, but by the end of the week and into next weekend, you can see the temperatures warming up. It's actually because we're going to be a little bit drier, some drier air coming in to help to limit those rain chances for the end of the week. And again, it's busy in the tropics right now with Tropical Storm Fred being closest to us. We also have Tropical Depression 8 near Bermuda and Tropical Depression Grace down in the Caribbean. None of them will have a direct impact on the Tampa Bay area. Obviously, Fred a little bit closer, which is why we have those elevated rain chances today. Avery.
All right, thanks, Amanda. And coming up, we'll have one last look at your top morning stories.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Just let go. Whoa.
Today's Time and Temp brought to you by Tradewinds Island Resorts, where there's always a cool front rolling in.
Good luck.
Enjoy a summer staycation every day on Ellen.
Look how pretty.
Watch Ellen today at 3 on News Channel 8.
Taking a look at your top stories this morning, President Biden just announced he'll address the nation on Afghanistan today at 3:45. Right now, Afghans are rushing to the tarmac of the capital's airport as thousands try to flee the country. The Taliban has seized power there.
The Taliban swept into Kabul after the Afghan president fled the country. This is the end of a 2 decades campaign in which the U.S. and its allies tried to transform Afghanistan. A man accused of killing his wife and her family will not go to trial in October as planned. Shelby Neely is accused of killing his mother-in-law, father-in-law, and brother-in-law nearly a year after investigators claim he killed his wife, Jamie Ivancic. In a Pinellas courtroom this morning, the judge pushed the trial date back, setting another pre-trial hearing for October.
The Manatee County School District mulling over a mask mandate with an opt-out option for both staff and students, and there is heated debate on both sides. The proposed mandate comes after more than 100 students and staff tested positive for COVID in just the first few days of school.
A Plant City Walmart is reopened today after undergoing an intense cleaning. The store on James Redmond Parkway shut down over the weekend. Store officials said a team of third-party specialists sanitized the store as part of its COVID protocols.
The Florida Department of Environmental Protection wants a third party to handle the Piney Point wastewater site. In March, more than 200 million gallons of wastewater was dumped into the bay to prevent a collapse. The DEP worries a similar threat could come during the rainy season.
And right now we continue to track Tropical Storm Fred in the Gulf of Mexico. Max Defender 8 radar getting a good reading of some of its outer rain bands just off of our coastline. These are actually between 20 and 40 miles off the Pinellas County coastline here, and they're trying to inch toward the coast, but for now they have remained offshore. As we start to see some storms develop this afternoon, rain chances are at a 50%. We'll see some heavy rain pass through and maybe some gusty winds in some of them, but overall it's going to be a pretty typical summertime day with those rain chances in the forecast. Guys.
All right. Thank you, Amanda. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Our next news program is at 4 o'clock. But until then, you can find us on WFLA.com and our free News Channel 8 app.
Have a great day, everyone.